Sourges, and I'm the owner of the electrical and plumbing store. I moved into Bell's Corners, our business, in 1992, so we've been here for about 22 years now, and we've seen a lot of changes in Bell's Corners over the last number of years. Shortly after we moved in, we had IKEA move out of the area, and over the years we've had many businesses, many very high-quality businesses move out of Bell's Corners. We see going into the future that we have a lot of opportunities, but we also have a lot of problems that are on the horizon that we need to address. One of the reasons we started the BIA in Bell's Corners was to help all business owners address the common problems that we all have with doing business in such a great place like Bell's Corners. So we hired Alex. Alex Lewis is the Executive Director of the Bell's Corners BIA to help us with all of those tasks that are so difficult to have handled because we're so busy doing business on a daily basis that we don't really have time to get involved with many of the issues that happen that affect us either at City Hall or in other areas of the bureaucracy like the NCC or the provincial and federal government. Alex has done a great job addressing many of those issues, and we feel that now with the movement of D&D coming into our area very shortly, we're going to have many opportunities. All the businesses in Bell's Corners are going to have many opportunities to gain a lot of business out of these people who are moving in, but we also have a few difficulties. They're going to have a very difficult time finding places to live because Bell's Corners is an island amongst the NCC, which is bound, and really development has been very difficult to navigate through Robertson Road or the Queensway to get here in the morning and then get away at night. So we really feel that many of these issues need to be addressed, and I'll turn it over to Alex and have his perspective on some of the things that he's been working on to help us in Bell's Corners.
Well, first off, thank you everyone for coming. My name is Alex Lewis. I'm the Executive Director at the Bell's Corners Business Improvement Area, and I've been doing that for 4.5 years. Or 4 years now, going on 4.5. Some of the issues we've really addressed over the last little while, specifically, there's been a lot of very contentious issues at City Hall, specifically how City Hall decides to deal with red tape and bureaucracy. The BIA has been very adamant and very vocal on a lot of these issues, and we kind of pride ourselves on the ability to be able to stand up for the SMEs, the small and medium-sized enterprises here in not only in Bell's Corners but also in the city of Ottawa. As a matter of fact, often being the lone voice on many of these issues at City Hall. In the last, at the end of 2012, beginning in 2013, we completed a retail gap analysis study, which gave us a pretty specific roadmap for success on how it is that we're going to proceed with not only attracting businesses but also maintaining those long-term businesses that have been here for as in Jim's case, for 20+ years. Our board specifically is comprised of a lot of these business owners that volunteer their time, and it's all for a purpose. It's for the benefit of not only their particular business but also for the livelihood and the well-being of Bell's Corners as a whole. So some of the items that were identified in employment-based businesses, I think we've been pretty successful over the last little while of at least encouraging those types of businesses that and informing them that Bell's Corners is a place that they can call home. Obviously, Department of National Defence, while we obviously can't take full credit for that, I think what's important here is we are welcoming in some very big businesses, and in addition to that, when it comes to employment, we have some businesses that have decided to relocate from as close as Canada and bring as many as 250 employees with them. Building on that as well, we have businesses that have just decided to expand, knowing that Bell's Corners is a place that they intend to be for quite some time and that they've done quite well in. We're working more now towards attracting, destination-style stores that really draw people into the area, and yeah, that's kind of the direction we're heading. So I'll leave it at that, but I think that pretty much addresses most of the issues that we're facing here in Bell's Corners.
Thanks, Alex. And one of the things that really, as business people, since we don't have a lot of time or expertise in many cases, to be thinking about the transportation plans that people use. We're fortunate in Bell's Corners to have amongst our business owners a man by the name of John Bosch. He's part owner of Louise's Belgian Chocolates, and he happens to be an engineer with a lot of good ideas about transportation, and some of which many of the business owners haven't heard about yet, and probably many of the members of the public haven't heard about. And he's been presenting some of these ideas to us, and we think some of those ideas have some merit, and we'd like to have John talk about some of those ideas. And if you don't get ideas out on the table, you never know when a good idea.
Good evening. My name is John Bosch. My wife Louise and I live in College Ward and have been here since 1992. Louise owns and operates Louise's Belgian Chocolates in Bell's Corners for the past 20 years. We have a vested interest, both from a personal and business point of view, to bring all-day passenger rail service to our part of the city sooner and at the lowest possible cost. On a professional level as an engineer, I have worked for over 20 years with two large international companies. Alstom, with headquarters in Paris, France, and ABB, with headquarters in Switzerland. Alstom is best known for their TGV trains, including those operating in Washington, in the Washington, D.C., New York corridor. As Vice President Engineering, my teams and I engineered and delivered many transit projects in Ontario, Quebec, and the USA. These included projects for TTC and Go Transit in Toronto, in Quebec for Agence Métropolitaine Transport in Montreal, for their South Shore commuter service, as well as for the Montreal Metro. In the USA, my teams and I completed transit projects for the Boston MBTA, for New York Metro North, as well as the commuter service from Caltrain out of San Jose, California. Except for the Montreal Metro projects, all of these transit authorities looked for innovative ways to reduce the cost for the infrastructure projects by using and reusing as much as possible existing capital equipment. I am part of a group of engineers and knowledge workers from the National Capital Region whom will be making a press conference tomorrow at City Hall regarding all-day passenger service, rail service to Bell's Corners and further west. This group includes, amongst others, Mr. Joseph Potvin, President Mobility Ottawa Outaouais, Mr. Ray Burton, CEO of... That's important is that we're not going to interfere. This project will not interfere with the LRT1 and the LRT2 projects. It's to complement those existing commuter trains. And certainly, as I said, well within a time span that LRT1, LRT2 would be completed. Without interfering nor jeopardizing the present LRT1 and the future LRT2 projects. Within a 5-year time span, and if we do it right, without cost to the taxpayer.